have Dr. Marlo Rencher with us from Commune Angels, and hopefully you'll have enough time to tell us a little bit about Commune Angels and what you have going on now with the organization. And I don't know if you'll have time to maybe touch on the Angel Catalyst program.
Sure. So thank you all for having us here. Love the conversation thus far. I mean, I think it's really cool that we have this kind of environment where angels work together, we connect, we syndicate, and we do definitely do events. I am, as David implied, representing this group that's like the youngest here. We started in June of 2020, and really what started as basically a different kind of angel group, in that we were focused on inclusion as a strategy for higher returns. What we know is that more diverse groups in every kind of metric of diversity give higher returns, and we wanted to certainly get a financial boost from that. So what we discovered was that in having conversations with people, what we found out is that there are a lot of people out there who didn't like the way traditionally angel investment was done, wanted to see different people in the room, no matter what their personal background was. And also just recognize that when you have different perspectives, then you're able to uncover problems that maybe other people won't see. So just, we were very intentional about kind of the environment. We were born, obviously, in the midst of COVID. So we wanted to make sure that if we're in these Zoom rooms, we're in Zoom rooms with folks that we wanted to hang out with. So just making sure that everybody felt included, and also making sure that we increase the pie, right? So we don't anticipate taking any angel investors from any of the groups that are here. We wanted to introduce people who had never heard of angel investing, who were qualified for it, but nobody ever put them to the side and said, hey, there's this thing that you can do that potentially can give you some outsized returns. So really just happy to grow the pie and help to educate investors and have them sit next to people who are long-term investors who just want a different mix of folks that are sitting in the room with them evaluating opportunities.
And Diane was saying to me, and I was asking her early on. I wasn't familiar with a couple of folks. Well, I knew David, but I didn't understand what point Angels did. But in your case, you're helping women and people of color, and that's really your sweet spot. Would that be safe to say, or not? That is included in our sweet spot. So when we talk about inclusion, we're talking about everybody. So inclusion includes white men, it includes white women, it includes Black men, Black women, it includes people who don't necessarily vibe with a specific gender. It includes all those people in terms of sitting in the room being angels. And the deals that we go, that we tend to think of as being kind of a commune deal, either deals with underrepresented problems or underrepresented founders. Ideally, the combination of the two. So we have a company in our portfolio that was all white males, had a couple of $1 billion exits though, and we're working on a life science problem that impacted a lot of people and a lot of folks in the room's family. They're working on kind of liver cancer treatment that was, above and beyond. And so we said, hey, this is a commune deal because it impacts our community. And then there's other kind of opportunities where, hey, I have this problem or I'm dealing with this thing and nobody else knows about it. So let's invest here. So those are the kinds of deals that we consider to be commune deals. Let me talk a little bit just quickly about the Catalyst Angel program, just because Diane mentioned it. Sure, I was just going to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. We're all great minds think alike. I used to work at TechTown in Detroit, which is part of the wonderful ecosystem that Diane was talking about. I now work with Detroit Means Business, lead that. But when I was with TechTown, I was leading the tech-based programming, and one of the things that we were doing was we had this Catalyst Angel program that was seeking to grow the number of angel investors in the Midwest area. And we were looking at women, we were looking at Black and brown folks and just generally speaking, making sure that we had a bigger pie. There's so much opportunity to involve people in what angel investing is. People who are in C-suites have never had somebody turn around and say, hey, have you thought about this? It's kind of an awkward conversation sometimes to talk about investing personal money. So it's a really safe space. We're partnered with the Angel Capital Association to provide some really needed education, and really proud of the event. I mean, really proud of that goal. Dawn Batts, Dr. Dawn Batts, a great friend of mine, and the person who leads that program, has a goal of getting to 200 people, and she's I think 2/3 of the way there by now. So she's doing a great job. But bigger than that, I think everybody on this call has been a partner and helper in kind of trying to identify folks and have opportunities to kind of widen the scope, because we all win when there's just more angels, more people who are looking for opportunities in this ecosystem.
Diane, you have any questions?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit, Marlo, about the companies that Commune Angels have invested in. As I recall, you look kind of nationwide for those companies. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, Diane. That's really another focus of ours. So when we talk about inclusion, we also talk about geographic inclusion, right? So we're based in Detroit, but we have members in Texas and Illinois, across the country. And when we have our pitch meetings, and like David, we are a network. So we're not a fund, everybody makes their own decisions. We tend to have pitches from groups that are across the country, in the Bay Area, in New York, in the middle, just all around. So we're very, very intentional about inclusion in its broadest sense, so that, we wanted the deal room of Commune to be unlike any other deal room that you would find. So you're absolutely the case. And Diane, thank you so much for bringing that up.
And we're running out of time in your segment, and so folks want to reach out to you if they got some ideas they want to run past you. How do they do that?
For me, it's Marlo at CommuneAngels.com.